Yeah, only they can chat in it, but if it's the second you subscribe, you can start chatting. Yeah, I need the subscriber. My audio's not. Hey now, hey now, hey now. Check, check. 1, 2, 3. Here I am. And all right, let's just keep it like this for a minute. Welcome in, everybody. It is 9 o'clock on Thursday. I'm excited for tonight's little live stream here. Got a lot of stuff going on. I mean, I got so much stuff in this room. You guys don't even know. I got enough for like 10,000 hours of content just in this room, in this little jail cell size room right here. It's just crazy. So, just a couple quick things I wanted to do tonight is like I've been promoting. You saw my cover of me as Huey Lewis on the promo. If you didn't see that on X, go check that out on Instagram. Um, what I wanted to do is remember the last time I did a stream, I actually segmented out. I kind of rearranged everything live for you guys to see. So I sorted out. I put the rock on its own. I put R&B on its own. I put the heavy metal on its own and jazz on its own. So while I was doing that, I just had this thing of like, why am I not putting like a whole the essential 80s albums together? I don't know. For me, it's just I have so much vinyl now again that I'm having a hard time. I kind of just always go to the same stuff and I always want to find new things to grab out of the stacks there. And I figured if I want to listen to some 80s music, the quintessential, essential listening of the 1980s, I want that all in one spot. And you'll see there's a big gap there, a big hole where I'm going to have that stuff. But I have it on the floor here because we're going to go through that in just a few minutes. But before we do that, I want to switch to the other camera because I want to show you guys some new vinyl finds since the last time I did a live stream. And man, just been hitting home runs. I'm telling you, man. Hitting home runs, scores of vinyl. And let me move my mic here. Let me switch to the other layout. Let me move my mic. Volume here. Check 1, check 2, check 3. Am I coming in good there? I think I'm okay. Working with some new equipment this week on this live stream too. Some new microphone effects just got in today. So new mic preamps and stuff like that. Hopefully making me a little louder than usual. But I'll try to talk as loud as I can and try to boost as much as I can there. All right, let me show you guys some new stuff. You know what? I'm going to turn on this light too because it feels like, and then it should fix the light. There we go. I don't like boring. All right, let's look through some new stuff here. Actually, just got this yesterday. Promo copy, 1978. Got the promo sticker there. Demonstration not for sale sticker of UFOs, Obsession, 1978. Michael Schenker on guitar. Just a fantastic album. If you want it, the ballad on here I was listening to last night. Those awesome songs. Looking Out for Number One. check out that song on Spotify. It's such just a really cool album. Make sure you check that one out. And then we move over to, got this one on eBay. Haven't listened to it yet. Yes, Close to the Edge. This is the Friday Music 180 gram edition. So an audiophile edition of this album. So I'm excited to put this on the turntable and give it a shot. What's wrong? I'm being told there's echo. What about now? Oh, that's why. Now I should be good. I'm sorry. How's that now? I had reverb on. I told you I was working with new mic stuff this week. I put reverb on that mic. Thank you. All right, where was I here though? Yes. Now yesterday again. Found this. As I have on my wall back there. Kiss Dynasty. This is an original pressing, 1979. And what's cool about this, it's got the got all the little fill-ins, all the little goodies that would have actually come with the record in 1979. So you got you want to win a Kiss pinball machine, you got that there. And you can order T-shirts and all the Kiss Army swag actually came in this album, as well as a poster, like a huge poster came in this as well. And this is mint, man. This is about as mint as you're going to find in this album. Very sharp corners. Beautiful, beautiful. Breaking my rule of was only going to get reissues, but if I see this Kiss Dynasty as a reissue, I will pick that one up as well. Now, as I'm doing this, we're going to get to the 80s stuff in a second, showing you some new vinyl finds. The chat is open, so any questions you guys have about any of this vinyl stuff, or just anything in general you guys want to talk about. As soon as I sit back at the desk here and I'm done showing the new vinyl stuff, I'm going to get to the chats, and I'll be checking the chat every few minutes during this live stream. So get in on that, and let's chat. Ask me some questions. Fire away. Another one I've been holding out on because I've been waiting for the exact right pressing to come by. First press, maybe not. I think this might be second press, 1977 pressing of the first Boston album. Really no ring wear there. Very, very good, clean copy. The vinyl is mint. Been waiting to maybe buy like a repress, an audiophile version, but saw this and thought, what the hell? Why not? Another one I found yesterday. This is an oddity. The first solo album from original Kiss drummer Peter Criss. This came out in 1981, I believe, called Out of Control. And I don't really have much to say about this album. It's not an easy listen. It's kind of shite, as they said. Here's another one. Now, I got this at a antique fair a couple weeks ago. Anita Baker, Giving You the Best That I Got, in the shrink wrap, mint, mint, mint. And it's one of the greatest R&B albums, I think, of all time. Not just the 1980s, but of all time. So many great songs on there, and love that one. I think I showed you guys. Yeah, we showed Kiss Alive last time. We showed. Oh, here's another one. See, some of these have to go into the 80s thing here. Anita Baker, another one. Mint, shrink wrap. Original press, Rapture, 1986. Sweet Love. You Bring Me Joy, Caught Up in the Rapture. Awesome, awesome song. Pick that one up. Beautiful. Another one I got here from good buddy mine, Gary. This is the Def Leppard Pyromania. Not sure what pressing or early pressing of this. It's got the hype sticker. It's still in the shrink wrap. It's got the hype sticker there. You see, it contains Photograph, Rock Rock Till You Drop, Rock of Ages, and very cool. That, you know, we're gonna save that because that has to go into the '80s pile here. Another great find. Never had this one on vinyl ever. I've never seen it before. Original pressing on vinyl, so I picked it up right away when I saw it. Slayer, Hell Awaits, 1985. Metal Blade Records. Shows Brian Slagle as the producer here, the founder of Metal Blade Records. So this was pressed in 1985. It's just cool to hear that, you know, an album like this that came out a year before Metallica Master of Puppets, and something that's this heavy and just that's awesome. It's so cool to hear an original pressing of that on vinyl. Love it. Another interesting one. I love these. I don't even have to be that big of a fan of these bands and these records. I'm a sucker for, like, when you see these Super Saver series stickers and it's really tight shrink wrap still, and you know, it just looks like it's never been touched before. It's still got the little, like the Harmony House sticker, barcode sticker there. And this is Iron Butterfly, In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida. Very cool. You guys know this. The whole first side of the album is one song, 17 and a half minutes, I believe. Yeah, 17 minutes. Awesome drum solo on that. One of the heaviest riffs of all time, in my opinion. Up there with Black Sabbath. In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida. Another treasure. Never thought I would had this. Sold it a few years ago. Never thought I'd see it again. As soon as I saw it, grabbed it. And way better condition than the one I had before. Ozzy Osbourne, Speak of the Devil. Got the puking action there going. And man, the pressing on this is just, looks like it's never been played. It's just so awesome to have, and I'm very glad to have that in my collection. Another one I got at that antique fair that I love. I have this one, but not in this great a condition. First album from Guy. I think I showed this on a live stream before, so this is cool to have this. And it even looks like it's never been played. I mean, it's just never been touched. Really quick, another one I found here this week, or last week, was Billy Squier's album, Don't Say No. Like I said, I'm a sucker for the old hype stickers there. It says features The Stroke, In the Dark, My Kind of Lover. It's also got Lonely as the Night. And man, is that a good album. Check that out. If you've never heard that, you've had to have heard. Just play the album. You'll be like, oh, I didn't know he did that. Oh, I didn't know he did that. That's Billy Squier. Check that out. And what else? Oh, another one, Mint in the Shrink. Still has the Kmart sticker there. Kiss, Rock and Roll Over, 1976, original pressing. No barcode there to be found. Still in a tight shrink wrap. Played it the other night. Sounds fantastic. Again, need to get the reissue of this as well, but this will suffice for now. And then the last one I got here in the last week or so is the first Van Halen album. Needed to have this one back in the collection. Was really just waiting on the right price for it to get the 180 gram reissue of this one. That was, I believe, mastered by Chris Bellman and from the original master tapes. And it sounds just blow your brains out when you play this. I mean, it's crazy, man. It's so unbelievable. It's such a great album. So, all right, that about does it for the new stuff. So I'm going to go sit back down. Let's check the chats. Like I said, I'll be checking the chats every few minutes. You got a question you want to ask about anything, I will do my best to answer it for you. So let's move back over here. I got to remember to turn my mic down. And come back. And then what I wanted to do, too, is shut my light off. That is better. Solo me out here. There I am. Check, check. 1, 2, 3. I think our audio is good. Looking good. Lighting's good. Everything is ready to go. And I will solo myself. Oh, there we go. And of course, as always on the live stream, little Fago action going here. Little Fago grape. Little grape tonight. It's funny that the grape is always the last in our household, anyways, the last one to be consumed. I think it goes red pop goes away first, or maybe the orange goes away first, then the lemon twist, lemon lime twist, and then the grape. Grape goes last. Oh, that's fantastic. Okay, here we go. Let's see what we got here. Fantasy League. Asking some question here. Did you go meet Hulk Hogan? I did. I did meet Hulk Hogan. I don't have the picture on me right now, but I will. I'll share it on my all my social media accounts later. You guys can see it. It was quite an adventure. I gotta say, it was quite the crowd. Um, he was in my local area here, my town. Hulk Hogan was in my town where I live, a mile away from where I am right now. Hulk Hogan was there. How many times can you say that Hulk Hogan will be in St. Clair Shores, Michigan? Okay. Probably will never happen again. So I figured, what the hell? Let's go and shake hands with Hulk Hogan and get a little picture there. And why the hell not? Here's another one. I forgot. I got to put these on the screen. Fantasy League. Stony Wojo Invitational Drop Song Bracket. Not as funny without you. See, I didn't read that at first. You got me. You got me, Fantasy League. You son of a bitch. You got me. I did hear that it was on, and hey, God bless everybody, and I'm sure you can't go wrong with Stony and Wojo. Wojo's my man. Stoney's my man. And all they can do is make me look better and sound funnier and be funnier. So I can't go wrong with my guys there. Fantasy League. What was your favorite song you made during your time with 97.1? God, I'd really have to think about that because there's like thousands. Geez, I don't know. I always liked the Summer '69 one was always good. Oh, you know what? You know which one I was thinking about today that I really liked was the Stony Cocaine song, where I sang to Eric Clapton about when Len Bias died and Stony cried and he stopped doing cocaine. True story, by the way. It was autobiographical. I wrote that about Stoney's life with the story that he told on the air, and that was a good one. I had fun. That one, writing that one was really fun. Um, So anyway, like I said, keep the chats rolling in. I'll check them from time to time here as we start tonight's actual topic, which is sorting out the essential 1980s albums in my collection. And what I want to hear from you guys is, what am I missing? We'll go through that too. The essential 80s albums that I'm missing that you don't see me show because I don't have it. Tell me to get it, and I bet you I will get it because I think, you know, I'm a sucker for being a completist. So I really, I'm going to show you some records too that even like I'm not so hot about, but I just feel if you're going to have a rounded out, real good archive and a great vinyl collection, there's, albums that you must have in the mix. So let's start. Alphabetical order. One of the most best selling essential albums of the 1980s to have. AC/DC Back in Black. This is my reissued, remastered version, and gotta have that. Definitely one to have. You know all about that. Don't need to go through that. Nothing shocking there. I got to make myself a little pile here when I'm done with these. Okay. Next one. This goes out to. I was talking to my son about this the other day. He bought the Andy Funko Pop, Andy from 40-Year-Old Virgin Funko Pop, and I said he should make a picture of it and put it to this background. First album from Asia, 1982. Remember Andy and 40-Year-Old Virgin had this in his apartment. He had a big Asia poster. But in all honesty, I do put this in there because it was a big selling album at the time. The song's Heat of the Moment. Everybody knows that. Only Time Will Tell. If you don't know it, play that and you'll be like, oh, they did that song. And this was sort of a super group of the time. Had guys from Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and Yes, and King Crimson. So this was kind of like one of the first super groups of all time, if not just the eight. Moving on. We'll do this one first. One of the biggest selling albums of the 1980s. Got to have it in your collection, or you're crazy. Bon Jovi, "Slippery When Wet." This is an original pressing. I do not have a reissue of this one, but this one is very very good shape. Looks awesome. You got the guys on the back there. And you guys know about this album. I don't have to tell it. You know all about it. You know all the songs. "You Give Love a Bad Name," "Living on a Prayer," "Wanted Dead or Alive," "Raise Your Hands," "Never Say Goodbye," "Wild in the Streets." I mean, come on, man. Definitely one of the biggest selling albums of the 80s. Got to have that in there. And then I put this one in there too. Argue with me if you want, but it was a huge selling album at the time. Um, oh, look at this. This is from Dwayne Mathis. I'm going to take this. "My buddy was Emerson, Lake and Palmer's road manager on multiple world tours." That's crazy. Wow. I'm sure there was some really insane stories. I mean, those guys were like the kings of prog rock, before Rush, around the time of Yes, and ELP is awesome. I am a fan. Um, so I want to show this one. Another huge selling, the follow up, Bon Jovi to "Slippery When Wet," New Jersey, 1988. And like I said, I'm a sucker here for the shrink wrap and the hype stickers. Got all your songs there. "Bad Medicine," "Born to Be My Baby," um, "Lay Your Hands on Me," "I'll Be There for You." Huge, huge song, which is funny because it doesn't even show those as like, these the one they thought were going to be the big singles, what the other ones were actually. So, um, produced by Bruce Fairburn. I got a lot of his stuff in my collection. Engineered and mixed by Bob Rock. Most of you know Bob Rock as being instrumental in Metallica, the Black Album, and Load, and all of Metallica's 90s stuff. Was the producer on that, but also mixed and engineered this album as well. And don't tell Metallica fans that. um, Another one, big, huge seller in the 1980s. Phil Collins, "Face Value." Again, I told you I'm a sucker for these Super Saver series editions, and it's just cool to have these in the shrink wrap. And as it was, if you would have bought this in 1981, this is exactly the copy that you would have gotten in the store. So a lot of great songs on here. We all know "In the Air Tonight," but a lot of other really cool songs on this, like "I Missed Again." He does a cover of Beatles, "Tomorrow Never Knows." Um, "Behind the Lines" is a great song. "If Leaving Me Is Easy" is a good song. I mean, this is good. I mean, like I said, it's not. I'm not going to be putting this on every night and listening to it, but once in a while, if I get the urge, especially "In the Air Tonight" is one of those like songs where you um, test out your sound system. When that big drum thing hits, that's where you want to test your speakers and test that everything's working as it should be. So, all right, let's check some more chats here before we go on. Like I said, I'll be checking the chats every few minutes here, but we're going through the most essential 80s vinyl albums in my collection tonight, and want to hear what you guys think. Am I crazy for having some of these in there? Which ones am I missing? If I move on from a letter, if I'm on the letter D and you see that I missed something in the C's, you got to mention it to me on here, and I'll take your word for it, and I'll probably pick it up. Why the hell not? Sports Genius 38. Bon Jovi doc on Hulu was excellent. Yes, I really liked it a lot. But I feel that Bon Jovi is just such a weird thing the last 10, years, whatever it's been since Richie Sambora left the band. Without him, it's just, for me, it's a no-go for me without Richie Sambora. So, but I'm glad that he was in the documentary, and they, interviewed him a lot, and they interviewed everybody in it. It was very good. I might watch it again, actually. I like to watch those things twice because I sometimes I miss something. About Dwayne's uh his buddy was ELP's road manager, Emerson, Lake and Palmer. He's told me so many stories, met guys from Zeppelin and many others. When he retired to settle down uh, and get married, Roger Waters called him to go on one last world tour with them. Wow, that's crazy. That's really, really cool. That's the heyday, man. That is the heyday. All right, let's keep going here. Essential 80s albums in my collection. I just showed this one, and I definitely, again, huge seller. 1983, Def Leppard, Pyromania, huge. Photograph, Rock of Ages, Foolin'. They're all there. But the thing that I noticed listening to this the other night is the songs that aren't the biggest hits on here are just as good, if not better. I mean, um, uh, where's the one I really love? Oh, Coming Under Fire, Too Late for Love, Die Hard, The Hunter. Just so many great songs on here, and this one produced by Robert John Mutt Lang, also known as Mr. Shania Twain, is the producer on that album, and all the essential Def Leppard stuff, including this one, Def Leppard Hysteria, probably even outsold Pyromania, 1987. Has so many. I can't even. I mean, first of all, I can't read it because the print's so small, and I got no light in here. But you know all the songs on here: title track, Hysteria, Animal, Armageddon, It, Rocket, Love Bites, Pour Some Sugar on Me. How the hell can I not forget that? All here on this record. And really, Def Leppard has always said with Hysteria that the plan was to uh, do what Michael Jackson Thriller had done, where 90% of the record were hit singles. So they really wanted every song to be a hit off this record, and they got pretty damn close. I picked this one, not their only 80s album, but I think the one that when I go to quintessential 80s albums, I want this one to be in there because the production is just, it's so of the time of the 1980s. And this is Fleetwood Mac, Tango in the Night. And 1987, Fleetwood Mac. You got everybody on the back there. You got Lindsey Buckingham is there at the time. Stevie Nicks is there. Christine McVie, and the rest of the guys. And just such a fabulous album. So many great songs on here. Um, Seven Wonders to me is probably my favorite song by them of all time. And then you have Everywhere, such a great song. Caroline, Big Love, Little Lies. Man, is that a great album. Fleetwood Mac. Now that reminds me too, while I'm thinking about it, I missed showing you guys. I don't maybe no. I guess I did show you my Fleetwood Mac Rumors 45 RPM. Well, I think I did. Moving on here to Essential 80s albums in my collection. Don Henley, Building the Perfect Beast. Uh, Obviously, the Eagles didn't release anything in the 80s. So this is as good as Eagles is you're going to get uh, from Don Henley. And you have Boys of Summer on here, which is the only reason why I put it in with the quintessential 80s albums of all time because of that song. The song Boys of Summer is just so, when I hear that song, I just go 1980s, 1980s, 1980s. But I don't, All She Wants to Do Is Dance is on here. Sunset Grill. So a lot of really good stuff on here, actually. I'm going to listen to this again. Like some Don Henley from time to time. And then with that, wanted to put this one here because, again, tail end of the 80s. I mean, we're just making there before the 1990s turn in, but actually was released in 1989. Don Henley's End of the Innocence has the title track on there I love, written by him and Bruce Hornsby. And there's so many guest stars on here, I can't even think about it. But probably my favorite Don Henley song, and I love when the Eagles do it on Hell Freezes Over, is the song New York Minute. If you never heard New York Minute, just leave here now. I don't care. You can come back. I'll be live for a while. Go check out the song on Spotify or YouTube. Don Henley, New York Minute. Man, that's a great song. Kind of a bummer of a song because it's about, well, I'll let you. Here's another one. Actually, can't believe that I've never owned this and just added to my collection a few weeks ago. I don't know why I had it because it's one of those guilty pleasure things that I just, if I got a buddy of mine over and I'm showing him that Slayer album I have and I'm showing him, you know, uh, my Dio records and my Black Sabbath records. He's gonna laugh at me if I show him this. So what the hell am I supposed to do? But I had to have it. It's a mint copy. I saw it at Second and Charles bookstore. Daryl Hall, John Oates, Rock and Soul Part One. This is like the greatest hits. I mean, they'd already had a greatest hits album in 1984. Was already the greatest hits. So, and every song on here is just fantastic. You know them all. Read that there. I mean, that's crazy. And to hear it on vinyl, original pressing that it just looks like it's never been played before. So pristine and clean. Was glad to have it, and very nostalgic listening to it. It's fun. Let me check out some chats here with the Fago. Fantasy League. Do you like the movie The Wedding Singer with Adam Sandler? It has a good 80s soundtrack and one of his funniest movies. Yeah, of course. I love any of those movies that have that sort of throwback 80s timeline to it. And, they harken back to the 80s and then they make the soundtrack like that. I love that stuff. I'm trying to think, especially the grown-ups movies have that too, where it's kind of 70s and 80s, but those have great soundtracks to them. And of course, like the gangster type movies, whether it's like either like Goodfellas, Casino had that star, but Sopranos really too had a lot of great 80s songs in it as well. And then you always had the actual 80s movies that had great soundtracks. Those I'm missing. Those are going to have to be added to the collection because I just haven't gotten around to collecting any soundtracks yet. Let me know in the chat right here what soundtracks of the 80s belong in the quintessential collection. I believe you need probably need like Breakfast Club, St. Elmo's Fire. I did have the Scarface original soundtrack at one point, but sold that. That was a dumb move. But I'm sure I'll come across it again, pick that one up. But yeah, a lot of those 80s movies have a lot great soundtracks on them. So I'm going to keep out looking for those as well. All right, here we go. Next, 80s quintessential albums of all time. Oh, play. Journey, Escape. Another one of these, probably one of the top 20 greatest selling albums of the 1980s. Open Arms, Who's Crying Now, Stone in Love, Don't Stop Believing is on here. How can you not have that in your 80s collection? You'd have to be a fool. You'd be a fool. And I'm putting them all in. I'm putting them all in the mix. Even Journey Frontiers, huge seller. 1983. Separate Ways, Worlds Apart. You know that one. Faithfully. Center My Love, After the Fall. Oh my God, is this a great album? So good. This is the exclusive Target limited edition, clear vinyl edition that they came out with a few years ago. And says remastered vinyl from the original stereo master tapes, and also has a bonus 7-inch in here, like a 45 of the song Only the Young, which I love from around that time too. And that, what soundtrack was that on? Hold on, let me try to remember. Sonny remembers, let me know. Vision Quest. Vision Quest was the movie that Only the Young Journey was on. Also, Journey Raised on Radio, just to me, when you think of the 1980s, if I put this record on, just put you right there. It puts you in 1986. You are there. This came out after Steve Perry's solo album, Street Talk. And this has Be Good to Yourself, I'll Be All Right Without You, Girl Can't Help It, Happy to Give. So many great songs on here. Check this. This is a sleeper album. This is one you'd be like, I'm not too sure about that one. I know Escape. I know Frontiers. But this is a Journey one. You got to check it out if you haven't. Raised on Radio. Like, just one of the greatest pop albums ever made. Pop rock albums. And again, you'd be stupid not to have this in your quintessential 1980s albums. This is Michael Jackson Thriller. And this is a first pressing, one of very, very early pressing, because it does not show Michael Jackson as a co-producer. It says only produced by Quincy Jones. Any later pressings after the first run we'll have a third line of text here saying co-produced by Michael Jackson. So we know that this is OG. This is legit. This is for real. First pressing. I've listened to it. It sounds fantastic. But there are better ones out there. A lot of reissues that they've come out with. You got to do your research. Some are good. Some are really, really bad. So I can count on the original, and I know where I stand with the original. Let's check some more text chats here. King Kong. Love that name. I have every Casey Kasem American Top 40 show from 1970 to 1988. I also have every Casey's Top 40 show from 89 to 98 and every Shadow Stevens show from 88 to 95. That is so cool. I mean, obviously, I remember listening to that all the time as a kid. And Shadow Stevens, huge. But for me, more because I think he was more of like an LA radio guy. I don't think we had him here in Detroit, unless I'm wrong. I might have been too young, but Shadow Stevens, I remember that he was big on one of the game shows. He was always on damn it. I'll think of it. The one where they're all in the cubes. Why can I not think of the name of that one? But then Shadow Stevens also was on I remember he was on an episode of Beverly Hills 90210. That's how I remember Shadow Stevens. Here's from Ed, my buddy Ed. Journey's Frontiers Tour was my first concert with Bryan Adams. My uncle took me. I was like 13. We sat right behind the drummer. It was awesome. Wow, you would have sat right behind Steve Smith. And I got to tell you, Steve Smith is one of the greatest drummers of all time. And that must have been mind-blowing to sit in that concert. Now, I will say, if you've never seen it before, this will really blow your mind because this will take you back to that concert. I don't know if you've ever seen this. You can look it up on YouTube. Journey put out a concert film of the Frontiers Tour and a documentary filmed by NFL Films. So it looks just like NFL Films. It's got that guy that does the voice for NFL Films. You know, he's like, Journey, behind the music, the Frontiers Tour. He does that. But it's such a cool documented tour, but it's so old school. It's like real cheesy, but it's really fun. Great music in there, and shows the road crew how they set up all the sound and management, and how they do the T-shirts for the tour, and and the cool thing how archaic it seems now with everything, but you know that's the way they did it back in the day. So check that out on. It's called Journey Frontiers and Beyond. Check that out on YouTube. Fantasy League. Speaking of gangster movies, Chaz Palminteri is coming to Detroit to do a Bronx Tale one-man show. I would like to see that. I've always said that. I hear it's excellent. I actually met him once when he was here. Got to be about 15 years ago when he was doing a run of the one-man show here. I met him I think he was doing Dick Purton's show, and I was there working with those guys, and I got to meet Chaz Palminteri, and I got my picture taken with him, and I should have went and seen the Bronx Tale one-man show then, but I did. But I love Chaz Palminteri, love Bronx Tale, I love Analyze This, I love him in Godfather of Harlem. If you haven't seen that, go check that out. Awesome show. Yes, definitely will. Ed, check out that Journey doc. It's awesome, I'm telling you. All right, let's get into a few more here. Essential 80s albums in my collection. Janet Jackson, Control. Just got this one on my trip to Saginaw a few weeks ago, over July 4th. Was holding out for. I needed it with the sticker on there. Got to have the hype sticker, and I got to have it in the shrink wrap, or it's just not for me. I'll wait 10 years to get this copy original in the shrink wrap sticker, but it's got to sound good too. The vinyl could be a little better. I think this only cost me like $9 or something like that. So vinyl could be a little better, but it just looks so cool. I love the look of the shrink wrap and the sticker. Gotta have it. And again, you guys know all the songs on here. What Have You Done For Me Lately? Nasty. Probably my favorite Janet Jackson song, When I Think of You. Another one I had in my collection, have to get it back, is I would definitely put the follow-up in there too, Rhythm Nation 1814 from 1989. Uh, Huge songs on that too. I can't many more hits than the Control album even. So, um, next one that was the preview image of this live stream tonight. If you saw it on social media, it was my face over this guy's face. Huey Lewis in the News Sports. Come on. This is just like so 1980s. Oh, that's another great soundtrack we didn't talk about. It was Back to the Future. The movie Back to the Future has an unbelievably awesome soundtrack. And just so many great hit songs on here. Heart of Rock and Roll, Heart and Soul, huge. Want a New Drug, If This Is It, Bad is Bad. So many great songs on there. I mean, this is like I said, a lot of these albums I'm going to show just put you there. When you put this on the turntable and you play this album, you're in 1984. I mean, you're just there. You're there. Huey Lewis in the News Sports. Here's one I picked up recently. Now this is on the cusp. I mean, this is early 80s. This is like 1980. And just as 1980 is beginning, you have Loverboy coming out with their first album. And this is just such a really cool, awesome synthesizers and keyboards and just really awesome like pop rock. The Kid Is Hot Tonight, Turn Me Loose. I'm sure a lot of these songs are on like that um Cobra Kai series. I would think so anyway. I mean, I'm sure I wonder if Loverboy ever made it to any Karate Kid soundtracks. That's another great 80s soundtracks. We'll talk about those too is Karate Kid. We have Peter Cetera and Rocky. Rocky 4 soundtrack, unbelievable. I gotta get that in this collection. I gotta make a note of that when I rewatch it. Gotta get Rocky 4 in the essential 80s album. Another one here. Just picked this one up recently as well. George Michael, Faith, 1987, I believe it was released. And not, when this was out, I never had it. I never bought it on cassette or CD when I was a kid or anything. But now that I'm older, I went back and listened to it, and especially watching that Wham documentary. Excuse me, that was on Netflix recently. It was at Hulu or Netflix. You really see that the effort and the hard work that he put in to make this debut solo album of his, and this the great songwriting of his, and he was a really great artist, George Michael. Always thought he should have replaced Freddie Mercury and Queen. If you think I'm crazy, let me know in the chat. I really think he should have replaced. Next up, one I've always had in my collection, the Outfield Play Deep, mainly only for the song Your Love. Yeah, right. From the Outfield. 1985 from the album Play Deep. I'm not going to sing it. I'm not going to be caught singing on this channel. There's just no way. But just look up Outfield Your Love. The second you will hear 2 seconds of it, you'll go yes, and you'll know, and it will put you right back into 1985 FM radio dial style. So that's why I put that one in there. And let's see. We talked about this one. We were talking about Journey. After Journey Frontiers, 1983 and 1984, Steve Perry, singer of Journey, put out the album Street Talk, his debut solo album, and that has Oh Sherry on it, which that would be all that would be needed to put this in the quintessential 80s albums of all time. But it always has A Foolish Heart. And what was the other one I really liked on here? Oh man, I'm gonna have to listen. I'm gonna have to listen to it again. But there are a couple more other songs on here I really liked. Um, Very cool. Very cool. The story behind this because I own the other albums too. I own all the 1980s solo albums from Journey guitarist Neil Schon. Was putting on a lot of solo records in the 1980s. And Journey's manager said to Neil Schon, he's like, you better stop putting out those solo albums, dude, because Steve Perry, all you're doing is making him want to do one. And when he does do one, he's going to blow Journey out of the water. And then he pretty much did that with the song Oh Sherry. Big, huge, huge hit. Another one I really like. I put this in the mix. Why not? Why the hell not? The Power Station, 1986, I believe. Another super group here. Super group. Features Robert Palmer on vocals. Um, Robert Palmer, known for "Addicted to Love," "Simply Irresistible." So I should probably have that album in the mix too. I will if I ever see that one. I'm gonna pick that one up too. But this has Robert Palmer on vocals, has Andy Taylor from Duran Duran on guitar, and John Taylor from Duran Duran on bass, and uh, Tony Thompson from Chic on drums, and is produced by Bernard Edwards from Chic, and also features Nile Rodgers from Chic on this album. So the mix of Duran Duran, Robert Palmer, and Chic and Nile Rodgers, it's just crazy. It's too much to handle almost, but it's awesome. It's got the songs, um, Some Like It Hot, Bang a Gong. Very cool album. I like it. I mean, very like again quintessential 1980s, in songwriting and production. Uh, Ed says, yes, Sean and Hammer. Jan Hammer was the guy that Neil Sean was doing a lot of sort of like jazz fusion albums with in the early 80s. I also have the one that he did with Sammy Hagar called HSAS, which was another sort of super group that had Sammy Hagar on vocals, Neil Sean on guitar, Michael Shree from Santana on drums. And yeah, it says, love that Power Station, Robert Palmer. Supremely underrated. I agree. Awesome singer, especially on that album. Like kind of like beefing it up more, getting into the more of the rock, thing there. I think you know some of his albums before Power Station might have been had a little more 80s or not 80s. I'm stuck in the 80s here. More of like an R&B softer side, but Power Station with Andy Taylor on guitar, just riffing. Um, Makes his Robert Palmer's voice a lot stronger, in my opinion. So that's why I put that one in there. Why not? All right, moving along. 1989, tail end of the 80s, quintessential uh, 80s albums in my collection. Remember, you guys, I'll check the chat every few seconds here, every few minutes. Anything you guys want to ask, I'll try to get to everything before I'm off tonight. Anything you want to ask, I'll do my best to answer. If it's about vinyl, radio, life, anything, food, movies, entertainment, you got it. Hit me up. But this one, 1989, Bonnie Raitt, Nick of Time. I think a huge like Grammy winner. This won like 8 billion Grammys or something like that. And I think the follow-up album did too. But I love this album because of I love the title track, Nick of Time. Go listen to that. It's just such a her voice just especially on vinyl when you listen to it, she is in the room singing to you on this album. And Thing Called Love, which written by John Hyatt, is on here. Have a Heart is such a cool song. But yeah, check this one out if you never heard Nick of Time, Bonnie Raitt. Awesome album. Next. Quintessential. Not, I don't know if this sold in the millions or this is like one of the greatest selling albums of the 1980s, but definitely an important album of the 1980s is Roxy Music's Avalon. And of course, this is a promotional copy that I have with the hype promotional copy with the hype sticker. I mean, come on, can't go wrong there. But this is a 1982. Brian Ferry, the leader of Roxy Music, came out with this album, and this album really is for audiophile guys like me is quintessential to have in the collection because this is sonically wise, sound wise, mastering, EQ wise, mixed by Bob Clearmountain, one of the greatest audio engineers, mixers of all time. Mixes this album, and it's just when you want to test your, every time I would get a new turntable or speakers or add anything to my rack of, music components, you got to put this album on to really test everything out and make sure everything sounds good because it really covers every facet of musical taste and instrumentation. A lot of instrumentation going on in here and a lot of like lot of echo, a lot of reverb, stuff that really to test the boundaries of your sound system. And it does that. All right, let me take a little break here. Fago break. All right, we're almost done here. We've gone through about, I don't know, 20 already. The essential, quintessential 1980s vinyl albums in my collection. I need more. I know, but I just segmented them the other day, and I was so excited to show you guys the little collection I had made here of the 80s stuff. And it's not all, I have way more 80s stuff, believe me, but they're not going to make this, which goes in like the ultimate 80s collection. So I'm not going to put like my Ace Frehley solo albums in there. I'm not going to put, as much as Ozzy is important to, 1980s heavy metal and hard rock, I'd rather just, he belongs with his friends in the heavy metal category. Next one. We'll definitely need to get Born in the USA as well back in my collection, just because, like I said, I don't go crazy over that album. I mean, it's great for what it is. It's got a lot of great songs on it, but for me, I love Tunnel of Love a lot more. And this is the follow up to Born in the USA. Again, it's got the Harmony House sticker on there. It's got the little hype sticker there, still in the shrink wrap, sharp corners, as if I had just bought it in 1987. Here it is, and just so many great songs on here. But my favorites are the title track, Tunnel of Love, and the song Brilliant Disguise. And One Step Up is a great song on here. Just totally went in another direction from Born in the USA. He didn't go and make another like huge arena rock type album with this. He kind of slowed it down, a little more adult contemporary. And I dig that. So I'm love that album. Love it. Another one I just picked up. You got to put this. We were talking about Rocky IV, right? We're talking about the Rocky IV soundtrack. It's got to go in there. Well, the masters of the Rocky soundtracks are these guys. Survivor. And this album, Vital Signs, doesn't have any of the songs that appeared in any Rocky films, but it does have probably one of my favorite Survivor songs is High on You. And you'll know it. Go look it up on YouTube or Spotify. Look up Survivor, the song High on You, and boom, you're back in 1986 just immediately. And look at these guys on the back. How could you not listen to their album? These are very powerful and attractive men with mullets. But yeah, Survivor. But the songs they had on the Rocky soundtracks, Burning Heart, Eye of the Tiger. So Survivor. And then they have I didn't put it in this collection because it's not really essential listening of the 80s, but my favorite Survivor album is one called Caught in the Game. And the title track, look up Survivor, Caught in the Game, one of the coolest, heaviest rock songs. And it is actually in my jukebox right here. I do have the Survivor song, Caught in the Game, in my jukebox. That's how much I love it. Let's get back to some chats here. You guys keep them rolling in. Keep the chats coming in. Keep the questions going. All questions taken. I'm taking all questions. Let's do it. My man Dweezil. I remember him from the last live stream. There's also nothing wrong with just getting stoned and listening to Roxy music. I would believe that you are right. I'm sure, and I probably have. Yeah, I like a lot of the Roxy music stuff. I had them all at one point. I had Siren and the first album and Country Life and what's the second one? The black cover with the girl on it. Remind me, I can't remember. Damn it. But yeah, like Roxy music. But again, do I need every Roxy music album in my collection? Probably not. But I am, like I said, a completist, and probably will end up buying. If I see them for a good price, just what the hell, get them all. I'm not, because like, you know what that reminds me of? I'm not really a big best of guy. When it comes to CDs or cassettes, I like best ofs for some reason, but vinyl, I would just rather have the whole collection. Let's say Roxy Music probably has 10 albums, right? I would just rather just have those 10 albums in my collection than a best of, or maybe I'm missing a song that wasn't a big hit that I might be my favorite Roxy Music songs. That's why I like to at least try to listen to the entire discography of bands like a Roxy Music. Fantasy League. What's your favorite? What is this? Italian food? No. I love Chef Boyardee. No, I'm just kidding. You know what I really love? Been eating them a lot lately. Uh, in Grosse Pointe on Mack Avenue, there's a place called Licavoli's, and they have the best eggplant parmesan hero sandwich. It's so excellent. The eggplant parmesan is so crispy, and the cheese is melted. It's piping hot, and I love that real red, that blood red sauce. You know what I mean? That sort of tart sauce is my favorite. I don't like that. I don't know. I don't like that jarred stuff. You know what I mean? But yeah, thanks for asking that because now you're making me very hungry, and this Fago's not. This is not cutting it. I'm hungry. And I wish they were open after I'm done here. I would love to have an eggplant parm sandwich right now. What will I have? I don't know. It's a good question. All right, let's move on here. Got a couple more left. Essential 80s vinyl in my collection. Essential albums. What am I missing? You got to tell me. What have you not seen yet? Go back, rewind, watch. Got to have this one in the mix. Oh my God. Tears for Fears, Songs from the Big Chair, 1985. You got to have this in there. This probably is the one that I pulled first to put in this whole collection. As Everybody Wants to Rule the World, probably for me, like the most quintessential 1980s song to me. I mean, if you're going to have a movie, based in the 1980s, you're probably going to want to make sure it'd be great to get the clearance for that song to have that in the movie. But also has Shout, which everyone knows that, and Head Over Heels. Oh, I love that song from Tears for Fears. And I love the follow-up to this album. I don't know if I'd put it in quintessential 80s, but Sowing the Seeds of Love uh, is a great album, the follow-up to this one. And that might be my favorite song by them. Next up, I lost the bid on eBay last night, and I'm very mad about it, but that's okay. It was a very mint original pressing in the shrink wrap of Toto 4. Do not have that, and that must go in the quintessential 80s albums because Toto 4 has Africa, has Rosanna, has, all those really essential big hits from Toto in the 80s. But I have this one, which is so 80s, came out in 1988, Toto's The Seventh One. And no real huge hits on here, I think, unless you know the song. The song Pamela is just so great. Kicks off the album. Check that out. Toto Pamela, if you never heard that before, great track. Can't Stop Loving You is one of the great songs on here. Anna. And man, is this 80s. It's just so thick 80s when you hear this. It's ridiculous. So I decided to throw it in there. What the hell? Next one. This has to be in the mix for sure. U2, Joshua Tree, another one of these 80s albums where it sold like 8 gajillion copies. I believe this is an original pressing that I have, and it's in great condition, and I didn't pay that much for it. I am not the biggest U2 fan. I like some stuff, don't like all. I like less than, you know what I mean? I don't like as much as I do. I don't know how I'm saying that. I'm saying it wrong, um, but I saw this and I figured as a completist, as a guy that wants to have a cool record collection, you gotta just have it in there. You know what I mean? And it's got really good song. And even like, some of these other records that I'm showing, go back and listen to the songs that weren't on the radio 10 billion times. Listen to the songs that you're not familiar with on here because you're probably gonna say, you know what? I like that one a lot better. And it'll give you new respect for all the songs on this album, not the ones you've heard 8 billion times. Moving on to, I don't even know. Oh, just got this the other day. Um, every time I go to the record store, I see it, the reissue, the remastered version of it, and just haven't pulled the trigger. And it was stupid of me not to, but I'm glad I did because for a little bit cheaper, I found an original pressing of Van Halen's 1984, and it is in the shrink wrap, and it still has the original hype sticker saying features the single "Jump," and you got the smoking angel baby on there. And I don't know if this is, I think they did fix this or they did not fix this. I'm not sure. But when this came out, the sleeve, the back of it was upside down. So there's the front, there's the back upside down. And that's cool. It has another hype sticker on the back. So I had to get it. I had to get it. And that has all the track listing on the back. And there's all the guys there. I think for my next um, promo picture on when I on social media when I do my next stream, I'll put my head on one of these guys' pictures. I'll put my face on Alex Van Halen. So, but yeah, essential '80s listening. Van Halen, 1984, Jump, Panama, Hot for Teacher, I'll Wait. Maybe one of in my top 5 favorite Van Halen songs of all time. I'll Wait. Check that out. 1984. The album's called 1984. It's got to go in the quintessential albums. Reminds me of that. David Bowie, Let's Dance is another one I need to get. I want to get the remastered reissue vinyl of that. I have it on a remastered CD. And so if I wanted to listen to it right now, I can. But I would like to have the vinyl. I'm throwing this in there because it just sold so many copies. And it's one of the biggest albums of the 80s. And it was just huge. Is another Van Halen 5150. So you have David Lee Roth represented in the quintessential 80s albums, and you have my man, Sammy Hagar, represented in my quintessential 80s albums as well. And, another one of these just huge albums that sold so many copies, has Dreams on it, quintessential 80s song, Why Can't This Be Love is on there, Summer Nights, Love Walks In. I mean, come on. It's just monster album. And waiting for it to come out on a single reissue like this one is original, but when they come out with a single pressing of that I can buy, I will have. And moving along, gotta have this. Talking about 80s albums, you're talking about MTV, the heyday of MTV, the heyday of hair metal and glam rock, arena rock, Whitesnake. Self-titled album. Some people call it the 1987 album. I like that as well. As you can see here, this one I have is a promotional copy, promotional stamped, and I did buy it sealed. I bought it sealed many years ago, and I did open it, and I listen to it all the time, and I love having it, and it looks great. And man, my man David Coverdale on here. It's just such a great album, produced by Keith Olsen, great producer. Awesome. It's Here I Go Again. Everybody knows that. Um, Is This Love? Still of the Night, Bad Boys, Give Me All Your Love. It's all here. This is one of these like Def Leppard ones, Bon Jovi ones, where like pretty much every song is a hit on here. So it's one you should own. You should own it. You're crazy if you don't. Or another one here I just picked up recently. Just took a chance on it. I see it all the time on eBay and figured if I can find one that is in really good shape, I would get it. And that's Steve Winwood's Back in the High Life. Again, just this is an album that puts you in 1987 with the song Higher Love, the title track Back in the High Life again, and the Finer Things. To me, the Finer Things, when you play that song, just really just puts you right back there. And has all the hype stickers and Harmony House stickers on there, and very, very cool. I'm glad I had this one. And the production on it is just sick. Very, very cool. And lastly, to cap it off, essential 80s albums in my vinyl collection is Yes, 90125, released in 1983. a little bit different of a lineup here. Has the guitarist Trevor Rabin on it, and but most known for the song "Owner of a Lonely Heart," and that is again, just that song alone would put this in that pile because that was such a big, massive hit song of the 1980s, "Owner of a Lonely Heart." But in my 20s, when I was a kid, I didn't listen to this, or my teens, I didn't listen to this, But as an adult, I went back and rediscovered it, and there's just so many great songs on here. The production is flawless. This is a Japanese copy that I have. It's really audiophile quality, and the songs on here are great. Hold on, It Can Happen, Changes, Leave It, City of Love. This whole album is just unbelievable. I highly recommend it. You can't go wrong. And got to pick that one up. Yes, 90125. So, boom, we did it. And we did it in 1 hour. Can you believe it? We went through the quintessential 1980s albums in my collection in just 1 hour. And who's this leaving this comment here that Kiss sucks? That's crazy. Are you out of your mind? Just for that, let's show some Kiss stuff. No, I'm just kidding. I do have a lot though. I'm looking at my picture of me with Paul Stanley right there. I'm looking at my picture here of me and my son with the band. So it shows you where my loyalty lies is with Kiss. And you can see my Dynasty lithograph back there. Love that. But you will notice that I wasn't being biased. I did not uh no Kiss albums made my quintessential 80s vinyl category. They do not, because no Kiss album in the 1980s sold gajillions of records. Maybe a little few singles here and there that had a little boost there, but nothing really crazy for Kiss in the 1980s. Um, really, now that I think about it, I mean, I love the album "Creatures of the Night." I love the album "Unmasked," which technically are from the 1980s, but those belong more in the hard rock metal category, in my opinion. Another one here, Remix and Karaoke. Interesting name. Pink Floyd is the greatest band of all time. Funny you say that, because I listened to my copy of Wish You Were Here last night. Uh, Cleaned it again using my vinyl vacuum, my spin clean, and all that stuff. And got a new. Actually, I should show this, but it's too far away there. I'm not even going to get into it. But got a new graphic equalizer in my rack here. It's a what the hell do they call that? Spectrum analyzer. So it's from the 1980s. It's a Kenwood, and it kind of just shows you, like, the VU meters, spectrum analyzer, everything on, bop, 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 you know, all the equalization. Just a cool thing to have and to look at, basically. But it does sound really good, actually, and is very precise. So I'm glad to have that in my rack now, in my collection. And but yeah, Pink Floyd, I agree. And actually, I wouldn't mind putting technically The Wall came out in 1979, so I couldn't put that in there, but I could definitely put Momentary Lapse of Reason could go in there, definitely, with Learn to Fly. And a lot of those songs that are on that Pink Floyd album, I would definitely, if I do pick that one up, I will put that in my I'll put that in the 80s essential albums for sure. Fantasy League, remember? Remember when Hulk Hogan had Voodoo Child entrance music? Yes, he did. He did. Jimi Hendrix version, I believe. He used the original. And what were the other songs he used? He used Rick Derringer, I'm a Real American. I think, did he ever use Eye of the Tiger? I'm not sure. What other songs? Um, like real songs did guy use? I knew Junkyard Dog used Another One Bites the Dust. The Road Warriors used Iron Man at one point. I know, who was it? CM Punk. One of these guys uses Living Color, Cult of Personality. Um, I have that. I don't have it on vinyl. I got to get another copy of it. I found a really like mint cassette of it the other day, and actually, I would put that in my 80s essential listening as well. When I get my copy of Living Colors Vivid, with Cult of Personality that will go also in the quintessential 80s albums. Another one from my man Ed. You mean Music from the Elder wasn't a huge 80s album? No. um, and the weird thing is, I saw that at the record store yesterday, and I would have picked it up. It was an original pressing of Music from the Elder, but didn't have the right inner sleeve. The correct inner sleeve of Music from the Elder, I believe, is clear. It's a clear sleeve that has writing in the liner notes embossed on the clear sleeve. So I'll wait and I'll find it, or I'll get their reissue. But as of now, I don't even have Music from the Elder in my collection, and I don't. Uh, I don't. I don't even have it on CD or cassette. Music from the Elder from Kiss is not in this room right now. Can you believe that? That's crazy. I have to apologize to a lot of people for that. Um, Asia, Europe, America, and basically any band named after a continent sucks. Yeah, what other bands are named after continents or states? You have Kansas, you have Boston. Um, I know there's more. There's more right in this collection. I'm forgetting them right now. Remind me. Um, wow, remix and karaoke. You're really on fire. You're really pissed off. Bon Jovi is a pretty boy poser, lame ass shite box. Well, I'm not hearing good things about the new album. I'll tell you that. And I will. I did read some reviews and watch some YouTube videos that it did not do as well on the charts and is not selling a lot of albums. The new release Forever that John Bon Jovi just put out, and it seems that more people, the hype and the interviews that he seems to be doing for the new album are only making people going out and buy the greatest hits. So right now the greatest hits is like way outselling the new album that he's trying to like pump out there. So like I said, without Richie Sambora, Bon Jovi is a no-go for me. I need Richie Sambora to be in the fold for me to support Bon Jovi. Fantasy League says again, and the NWO theme song. I don't remember that. I'll have to go back. My son's gonna kill me, but there was another one. Oh, Degeneration X. I remember that song. That was Run DMC did that, didn't they? I think I had that on a CD. Ed, yes, says yes, yes. The sleeve. I remember the music from the Elder sleeve. Sports Genius. Final Countdown was great starting lineup song for Bad Boys Pistons. Yeah, you're absolutely right. If I ever had a copy of Europe's album, The Final Countdown, I would put that in quintessential 80s albums for sure. I think just put that song alone, I put it in there. And the other one is the Bulls. The Chicago Bulls is Alan Parsons' project. I can't think of the name of this. The one that the Bulls, 80s, 90s Bulls always came out to was that Alan Parsons project song. Damn it. I can't remember the name. It'll come to me. Alex Michael, you got any Genesis? Ooh. See, that's a good point there. See, I like when you guys pick up ones that I don't have and that should be in the quintessential 80s listening because for me, Genesis, Invisible Touch I would pick that up just to put that in there. I'm not really a huge fan. There's some good songs on there. But I have Abacab on vinyl, and I used to have the Three Sides Live, and on cassette, I have the We Can't Dance. I have on cassette, and I have the Genesis box set on CD. So I like Genesis. Sure, it says Alex Michael asks, "You got any Genesis?" One of my dad's favorite bands, and it would be his birthday today, so I want to listen to some classics. But I was too young to know the song names other than the common ones. Uh, yeah, I mean, there's really factions of Genesis. You have the Peter Gabriel, uh, early to late '70s era that was really like progressive art rock stuff, and then Peter Gabriel leaves to go solo. Phil Collins, is the drummer in the band, takes over on vocals as well. And then by '79 and 1980s, they're coming out with songs like you would know, like "Turn It On Again," "That's All," "Abacab," "Invisible Touch," "Tonight, Tonight, Tonight," "Land of Confusion." And the album We Can't Dance, I love. No Son of Mine is just maybe probably my favorite Genesis song, and a lot of great songs on that too. That Hold On My Heart. So We Can't Dance, love that album too. And they had a third singer as well. I can't remember, his name was Raymond something. But they did a third album in 1997 with a whole new singer. Yeah, it didn't work out too well. But I like to give everything a chance. I remember listening to it a few times. It was okay. Serious. That's the name of the Alan Parsons song. Yes, Google says the Bull song is called Serious from Alan Parsons Project. That's right. Thank you. Nice job, Earl. See you next week. Thank you, my man Ed. And I think with Ed saying see you next week, I think I'm gonna say see you all next week because as I was talking about eggplant parmesan heroes and sandwiches, I'm getting hungry. I don't know if you guys are hungry too. Not sure what I'm gonna eat. I'll figure it out. Go upstairs, make myself a little something, then get right back down here and listen to some vinyl. Haven't had the chance yet today. It is my medicine. It is what keeps me complete. I have to have it. It's my fuel. I love to clean vinyl records. I love to find and hunt for vinyl records. I could do that for hours and hours. I can sit on eBay for hours and search for records. Uh, I like getting that little last piece of information out of a nice, really clean record and hearing something I've never heard before. And that means upgrading equipment, as much as I can afford, and always looking to swap out and get new stuff. And we'll do a whole live stream of that one day soon. Where we'll go through all the equipment and do that. Maybe we'll do that on the next one. But definitely any topics you guys think I should be doing, hit me up on social media. Um, Definitely subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. Um, Loving you guys subscribe and make sure you get notified when I'm live. And also check me out on Instagram as the Roberto Beauchesne. It's right there on the screen right there. And also on X at Roberto Beauchesne. You can find me anywhere. I'm always posting stuff. And thanks everybody for showing up tonight. I really appreciate it. I just have such a ball doing this. It's fun. And I love, reading the chats from you guys. And here's a few more from Dweezil. Yes, now I can start listening at the beginning. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you, Dweezil. And remix and karaoke, Pink Floyd without Roger Waters is lame. A lot of people think that, but I'm a big David Gilmour guy. I love 80's Pink Floyd. I love the Division Bell. The song "Take It Back" is maybe my favorite Pink Floyd song right now. Anyway, you know, you could ask me next week, it'd be something different, but. Sports Genius 38, play some Kill 'Em All. It came out 41 years ago today. That's correct. I do have that. And I'm not going to put that in quintessential 80s albums because it was so avant garde at the time it came out. It was really just on a whole nother level when that, thrash metal, being in the infancy in 1983 when Metallica came out with that album, they were the pioneers of that. But was very, niche at the time, niche listening. Um, Here's a question here. Somewhat new to vinyl with like 15 in my collection. One day I want my collection to look like yours. Well, you know, just, you know, be careful because your wife will get really mad at you when you start spending big amounts of money on records and equipment and all this stuff. Because a lot of people just don't understand what it is, why you need it, what it's for, why am I cleaning records for way longer than the actual length of the album is when you listen to it. Yeah, I mean, I'm always looking to buy more vinyl. It's really an addiction for me. It's really like a dopamine sort of rush to buy records and to listen to vinyl. So hopefully I don't get too crazy and this room becomes like where I can't even sit in here anymore. You do watch guys on YouTube. I'm not going to name names, but there are guys like, you know, quarter of a million records in their collection. They can't even like sit in the room that they keep the records in. They're literally surrounded by records. They have some speakers and a chair, and you can barely sit in the chair, and they're just surrounded by vinyl. So, but yeah, Dweezil is correct. Just give it time, and yeah, just but it's just have fun with it. That's the main thing. sometimes I get a little too crazy about it's got to be perfect. It's got to have pristine copy. And sometimes I just like having fun. So, you know what? That's a dollar record. And I just found it at a garage sale. And damn it, I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to have fun with it. Um, and that's really, for me, is the whole fun of the whole thing is being at those estate sales and garage sales and thrift stores and antique malls and antique fairs and record stores and going through those big bins and going, oh, look at that, jackpot. When you hit that jackpot, it's the greatest feeling in the world. And Remix and Karaoke says, thanks for absorbing my hate for Kiss, Asia, and Bon Jovi. However, Steve Winwood is super underrated and brilliant. I will agree with you on that. We will end on that Steve Winwood is underrated and brilliant. So thank you all you guys for tuning in and live chatting tonight. I really appreciate it. And like I said, subscribe, get notified, follow me on social media. All the info's there. And, you know, you'll see me soon, very soon when we do the next one here. Not sure what the topic will be, but hope you guys join again. And see you guys real soon. Good night. And let's midnight snack. Good night.